ladies and gentlemen, with everything that's going on in the world, I really don't have the strength for negativity. So please do what you can to not bring negativity my way. And the official THORnews monthly fundraiser has begun. And this is a special hurricane season fundraiser. And so, if you'd like to contribute or donate to THORnews, keep me up and running, you can send me an old-fashioned snail mail letter to TLewison 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas 77096. I got a PayPal, I got a Venmo, I got a CashApp, I got a Patron, and I got $1,667 to go with 7 days left. And I love you, Asteroid Fight Club. All right, now let's get to the weather news. And I'm watching the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico like it was Amelia Clark's bottom. But that situation is like 11 days away, so let's start off with that which is happening now. We've got an enhanced area of warning for tornadoes for Texas, which is the state I live in, and we've got a lot of rain for about 37% of the United States today. And then tomorrow, you get about 57% of the United States covered in rain and an enhanced warning for Maryland, D.C., Washington, Pennsylvania, New York, and Virginia. So, those Maryland and Pennsylvania tornadoes are possible. It's not something you say all the time. Here is our look at precipitation over the next 48 hours with some red letting us know where tornadoes may or may not occur in Texas over the next 24 hours. And then we've got quite an interesting storm that is coming into the Pacific Northwest. It's got everybody talking, and that would be in about 48 hours. Plus some heavy rains in parts of the Northeast, or just the East. We've got interesting rain fields over half of the United States, or, kind of. And then you've got what used to be Tropical Storm Bertha, which is now Tropical Depression Bertha, and that big bitch is headed north. And she's a dog. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Because whatever, that joke got screwed up, forgive me. This giant area of precipitation is starting to circulate. Will the pink head north? Will it head west? Or will it just totally, completely vanish like a miracle? Stay tuned, because 2020 is uncertain. And I don't know if you know this. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, man. Nobody knows. And then we got moisture pouring up into the Northeast as well. And maybe the snow eaters are mad because there's no snow in the forecast. That's okay. We'll get over it. Because we're entering a phase called summer. And who knows? Snow may show up in June. It's possible. Matthew Capucci. Some places are getting all-time record highs. It's not even summer yet. Because the earth is like a McDLT, where the hot side's hot and the cold side's cold. And then those sides change around like the weird stuff in a lava lamp. Wink. Yeah, and if it's going to really bother you that Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande are Asteroid Fight Club members, you may want to leave now. My tolerance for cock-blocking garbage takes is low. Yeah, like I said, right now everybody's obsessed with the CAG, Central American Yager. Isolated severe weather risk through this evening. We're talking San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Laredo, Victor, Mission. Okay, here is the last image of C-2020 Fate Swan on May 5th by the awesome Damien Peach. Last image of the comet before it dropped into the twilight. Sadly, it has since disintegrated. But the show was a fine one while it lasted. And don't worry, kids. It was at full strength with a very impressive tail. Same could be said about Amelia Clark. Okay. Yeah, we got another July comet that could be supermassive impressive. It could be the comet of the century. Probably not. Usually disappoints. But comets are interesting, and they add variables to what we know as life. I'm just bouncing around here. 805 weather. Precipitable water values are actually quite healthy, with the actual core of the low within its wind field aloft. However, dry air will still grip the Great Basin and southern Sierra Crest. It's not important to note due to the downstream convergence over NorCal. So we are watching an interesting storm that's going to be coming into NorCal in about 48 hours. And we're in Gemini season, so be prepared for just mixed messages all across the board. And I think we're going to get some type of tropical activity that comes out of the Caribbean and then goes into the Gulf. But atmospheric defense team may be super badass, meaning in their 2019 form. And I don't think an all-star Astrophi Club meeting would hurt this year. Anyway, but here's a gif of how our CAG looks to evolve over the next week. Lots of broad vorticity trying to consolidate will make the forecast tricky. Bottom line is that the East Pacific will be favorable for tropical cyclone genesis at first, but favorability may switch to the Atlantic later. And so last night, in the 00Z of the Euro switched to being on board with a tropical system that may affect Florida and the Gulf. But ironically, the GFS in the very latest model run showed absolutely no tropical cyclones or hurricanes for the first time in like 4 days. Here's a version of that model run, which, whoa. But the run before the latest run had another GFS hurricane in the Gulf. David Lincoln Hoker, letting us know that the CMC is also verifying a hurricane landfall. Yeah, kind of close to Crystal River. But I missed that mark last year. I mean, it hit the mark. It just wasn't a very large hurricane. What was it talking about? Oh, yeah. So the CMC is implying that, yeah, we have hurricane activity around the 6th or 7th, headed for Florida, but it would go over Cuba, weakening it a bit. So in the very latest runs, the CMC is suggesting some type of cyclonic activity heading into the Gulf, and the King Euro, has now officially come on board with the June 7th storm. And so, but the very latest run of the GFS has nothing developing in the Gulf. And so it's like a 3-card Monte game with the shell underneath, the peanut underneath the shells, and you got to guess which one. And so it is 2020. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. I'm hoping the atmospheric defense team is going to do what they can to weaken this thing. But it's almost like if you got to put this moisture somewhere, where's it going to go? So it's like plague, cities on fire, war with China, and, America's in a cold civil war that keeps heating up every day during a situation that is really scary, and we're losing a lot of people, man. And so, am I going to survive 2020? Are you going to survive 2020? Is hurricane season going to be freaking crazy? Are people going to keep losing their minds? Like, everybody's totally on edge. Everything is a powder keg right now. And so putting negativity into the universe or blaming people, that's just not going to help. We need like divine intervention that gives everybody a sense of humor and reminds them that life is very precious. And at the end of the day, civilization is very fragile. And teamwork makes the dream work, because our civilization is comprised of 1 billion families. Astro Fight Club All-Star, Dakota Smith, the weather DAC, showing us that the atmosphere is bending some air into the big, beautiful swirl. Yep. Yeah. But 2020 has this feeling of like, emergency phone not installed. Please do not have an emergency at this location. In good news, the weird dark horse that the Euro had shown in 2 runs, hitting up in the northeast, is now being swept away, so one less thing we got to worry about. And I'm still freaked out by the two dams that broke last week. We had a dam failure at the Edenville Dam and the Sanford Dam. And so that is not a good sign. Are we watching a planet disintegrate? Gosh, I hope not. Or not a civilization disintegrate? Who knows, man? But yeah, so the GFS had been insisting that Cristobal, which is what it would be called, would develop in the Gulf next week. The Euro and other models are also hinting it. Something to watch for sure, as the Central American Yair is active with its very warm waters in place. And so a lot of the possibilities and variables are there for Gulf activity early in the season. And no matter what, I'm very worried. Either way, it looks like Central America, including Guatemala, Costa Rica, and surrounding areas, are going to get a dangerous amount of rain, life-threatening style. This was the 00Z GFS last night, and I got to say, hey, man, honestly, I would be super happy if hurricane season this year was like hurricane season last year, where we didn't get the lower 48 of the United States of America, did not get hit by any hurricanes. That's what I want, but it's best to be prepared for the worst and pray for the best. And this was the 00Z of the Icon, which is a whole different model, and that started to suggest that the CAG is going to hop over the mountainous region in Central America and then reappear into the Gulf. What will happen? Nobody knows. Yeah, it would be best for everybody if this thing just developed here and then went straight west. So pretty please pray. And so yes, it is impossible to come up with a definitive answer of what is going to happen 200 hours out, but I do like to watch patterns and trends. And the patterns and trends have definitely been suggesting we stay fully aware. And I'm definitely hoping for rainbows after the storm that is the year 2020. And y'all got to remind me not to get too obsessed with the Caribbean and the Gulf so that I take my eyes off other things. But watching the Caribbean to the Gulf for tropical mischief, getting into early mid-June, we have a favorable MJO, which is the Madden-Julian oscillation, for upward motion. Surrounding waters are very warm. Tropical heat potential is very favorable and could be a less sheared environment with the El Nino diminishing. So, these are favorable conditions for cyclonic intensification and activity. Thank you, Captain Kirk, for that very succinct breakdown. Did I mention the severe storms with large hail-damaging winds and isolated tornadoes that are possible today across the southern half of Texas? Baseball-size hail fell in the Lone Star State yesterday, and the hail sizes have been 2020 levels. Plus, you over here in Alabama and Mississippi, near Birmingham, you guys need to be watching out for some severe weather also. And with the minimal petroleum extraction and all the gas giants planets in the same side of the sun, we are definitely watching for volcano and earthquake activity all over the United States and Earth, and especially the West Coast. Blistering heat will only get more intense across the Great Basin and desert Southwest today, as many daily high records will be in jeopardy. Remember, it is harder to stay cool when it's scorching hot. Tornado Kid, stormy and rainy end of the week for the eastern half of the nation. That'll help cool things down, maybe. Also, we are in a deep solar minimum, which puts more cosmic rays and solar wind into our planet, our core, which causes things to be more unstable. And I just don't like solar minimums in general, because empires fall during solar minimums and empires rise during solar maximums. But here's a beautiful solar halo with a rainbow ring. And it is very sad that one horrible police officer can cast a whole bunch of negative energy on all the good police and peace officers out there. And somewhere around 50,000 COVID deaths. I said, I wonder what type of media they will put out into the public to distract the attention from the 100,000 American COVID deaths. And at one time I even guessed it will probably be some type of racial thing, because that is the thing they use the most to distract people. And Jimi Hendrix is my favorite American of all time. And it's crazy, dude. It's crazy world, man. is a crazy, crazy world. Yeah, so we got threats all over. Threats all over. Also, the Reventador volcano in Ecuador has near constant ash emissions today. We had a very, very, very bright meteor fireball spotted over Turkey on the 27th of May. So, good job, Asteroid Fight Club. Last thing we need is an asteroid hitting Earth right now. Although, you got like 10% of people praying for an asteroid to hit Earth. Things are so weird. We get an upper level low centered over Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Will soon get absorbed into the shortwave trough currently in central Canada. Accompanying cold front cleanses the atmosphere for the weekend, which will make things cool and beyond for much of the eastern 2/3 west and high plains heat up as shortwave moves to the east coast. We had a coronal mass ejection yesterday. It is predicted to at least glance Earth on the 30th based on the Enlil model run at NASA. It seems that northwest part of the S-shaped region was considered the CME source region. This is possible, but not convincing, to Halo CME. Miami smashed its rainfall record with 7.4 inches on Tuesday, May 26th. And the old record was 3.5 inches, so it doubled it. And I think Florida's going to be under the gun. Signs are there for severe weather through the summer. But yeah, as Halo CME reported earlier, a bright, likely new cycle region is seen in stereo A images. It produced an eruptive flare with a nice coronal wave. It was a B1.4 by GOES, but should have been stronger because it was still limb occulted. Here, only quick look data were available for stereo. If you like pina coladas and getting lost in the rain. I like that song a lot, to sing anyways, but I shouldn't because it's about infidelity. And I really appreciate people who are faithful in all that they do. But I highly recommend staying cool, playing defense, because 2020 is going to be a battlefield, man. Love is a battlefield. Do your best. Pretty please. And thank you. Plus, I love you. Check out that crazy upper level low, man. Hold on to your hat, ma'am. We got another miss incoming. Good. They're still looking, though. As we have a near-Earth object, asteroid 2020 KF5, Kentucky Fried 5. Will pass 0.6 lunar distances from Earth tomorrow, which is today, which probably just passed, so congratulations, we survived. Geoff Cornish Ham. I gotta get a better name for that dude because he's cool. A quick look ahead to the weekend brings cooler air to the Great Lakes, the interior northeast, as well as the west coast. Heat builds into the Rockies, high plains, some beneficial rain will impact the west coast. So yeah, you're getting a pretty decent storm up there. And then down here is going to be super soggy. And then up here you're going to get wet too, with some sprinkles in between. And right before the launch got scrubbed yesterday, the Starlink 67 satellite, which had been operating in low orbit, seems to have re-entered today around 10:30 over China, which seems problematic. I don't think pissing off China and Russia's before a launch is a good idea. What do I know as your planetary defense commander? Rachel Eldridge has brought us this really cool slow motion video of lightning she took. She wishes the quality was better. I wish the quality was better. That's what she said. All right. But please remember that God is great, life is good, and you're pretty cool too. Philip Pappin is always yapping about cool weather stuff, except when he's taking cool pictures. And I love atheists too. You know, I guess if you guys want to think that the spaghetti monster is great, that's awesome as well. Oh, man. But I would totally be ready and prepared for a stormy hurricane season. All right, I'm your planetary defense commander. I'm going to do what I can to keep it together for you guys and bring you the best coverage of June out there. And if you would like to contribute or donate to my channel, I got multiple ways you can do it. And I sincerely, absolutely appreciate it. There's no way I would keep doing it unless you guys are so amazingly awesome. So I only got $1,667 to go with 7 days left. I got to say super duper thank you to Jose, Jess, Sasiri, and the person from the mystery super chat the other night. And thank everybody. You guys are all incredible and amazing. I love you. We are all in this together. Please stay cool. It's crazy. And wow, that was awesome thunder outside here in Houston. Thank you, God. God is great. Let's all do what we can to keep it together, man. I love you. Peace out. But 2020 is definitely a upgraded roller coaster with peaks and valleys. Well, mostly valleys so far, but